yogis and yoginis, Nick here. So I'm filming today at the Alexandra Center Society in Inglewood, and I teach here 3 days a week on Monday evenings, Wednesday evenings, and Saturday mornings. And I'll put more information in the info box below about the exact times of the classes that I teach here, as well as the registration information. So, bird is a mythical bird in India that is said to be able to sweep around the world with one flop of its wings, And so that's the visual for this posture. So a little bit of information about balancing postures. So very few people are comfortable standing around on one leg. It is something that we become stronger with as we practice. And so when you're doing a balancing posture, it's really important to work the feet, which we'll go over. So making sure that the feet are active and the arches of the feet are lifting. And it's also important to find a steady point to still your gaze on. So when you look around the room, when you're balancing, you're definitely not going to feel stable. So you want to find one point at about horizon level to focus your gaze on, and that will help you to still yourself. The other thing is to take each movement nice and slow. So balancing postures are much like life in that it's very hard to feel stable and balanced when we're rushing around. So take each step of your balancing posture nice and slow to get into the full pose. And that will help us with our balancing postures. And the rest is practice. It's normal to wobble in balancing posture. It's normal to feel unstable. That's all par for the course. So if you feel a little bit unstable in balancing postures, just know that most people feel unstable in balancing postures. So we'll start with Eagle pose, or Garudasana. So coming up into Tadasana, mountain pose, and if you don't know mountain pose, then please watch my Tadasana video to get all the alignment details for that posture. Looking at your feet, and we're just going to take a moment, because we're doing a balancing posture, to lift our toes, just for a couple of breaths. And what this does is it really brings our awareness into the four corners of the feet, the big toe mound, the pinky toe mound, and the inner and outer corner of your heel. So big toe mound, pinky toe mound, and inner and outer corner of your heel. And when you can keep the awareness of the weight rooting into those 4 points, it makes you more stable. And also when we lift our toes, the arch of our foot lifts, which helps to activate the inner leg, and that can also help to make us feel more stable. So I'm going to go into Eagle pose in steps. We'll do the legs, we'll do the arms, and then we'll add it all together. So in Tadasana, you're going to go ahead and cross your left leg over your right leg. And you want to bend the standing leg. So the biggest mistake that people make in Eagle pose is they don't bend the standing leg enough. So we're going to bend the knee, we're going to stretch our leg over. Notice that there's no room between my thighs. So you're going to squeeze your legs together as if they're one leg. Drawing in the hips, squeezing your thighs together. If you can also wrap your foot around your calf, excellent, do that. If you can't, just bring it beside your leg. And that largely has to do with the size of your legs and the flexibility of your hips. So if you can't wrap your foot, just bring it beside. So once we have a squeeze in the inner thighs, either wrapping the leg or bringing it beside, bending the knees. So this is the legs of Eagle pose. Finding a steady point to gaze at. And if you wobble, just wobble. That's okay. To come out, we're going to extend the leg straight, undo, and of course we would do the other side as well. So let's try the other side. So crossing over, squeezing the legs together, if you can, wrapping your foot, if not, resting beside the calf. And just keeping the legs engaged. So you want the two legs to feel as if they're one leg, squeezing together. Beautiful. And releasing and undoing, coming back to Tadasana. So that's the bottom half of Eagle pose, the legs. There's also arms for this pose. We'll go over the arms. So reaching your arms across, spreading your fingers, really draw your shoulder blades towards each other on your You feel your heart opening. And then from here, you're going to give yourself a really big hug with your right arm on top. Reach shoulder blades. And then bringing the arms up. Now some people might only get right here. You might even only get right here. So if you're quite tight in the back, or if your arms are quite large, then you might not be able to find your palm, and that's okay. It's the crossing of the elbows that's important here. So either finding a big hug, if this is where you need to work for your flexibility, or bringing the arms up. If you can find your fingertips and your palm together, then you intertwine the arms and bring the hands together. And then you're keeping the gaze on the horizon, the chin will be lifted, looking just softly past your hands on a still point. So making sure again you have a steady, still gaze. Releasing, big huge stretch out again, spreading your wings, spreading your fingers, and then the other arm. Big huge stretch. Bringing the arms up, either stopping here, finding the fingertips. And again, finding a steady point to gaze up. And then releasing the arms, big stretch out again, spreading your arms, squeezing your shoulder blades together, melting the heart. And then from here, we're going to now combine the lower and the upper half. So just before you balance, I want you to know that the upper and lower half are opposite. So if you have your right leg on top, for example, you want your left arm. So it's best to kind of wrap your head around that before you're standing on one foot. So we'll go into this together. So from Tadasana, lifting the toes. Taking a moment here with the toes lifted just to feel again the arches of the feet lift, the weight moving into the four corners of the feet. And then release your toes, but keep them light. So don't let the weight come forward into the toes. And then you're going to go ahead and bring the weight into your right leg, crossing your left leg over, bending your knee, squeezing the legs together, squeezing the thighs together, wrapping the foot or putting it beside the calf, really engaging the legs in, finding a steady point to gaze up, reaching the arms up, giving yourself a really big hug with your right arm on top, and then bringing your hands up, finding again a focal point, still your gaze on, undoing the arms, big stretch out, rising up, releasing the legs, taking your time, taking a moment in center in Tadasana, just to reestablish your balance in the four corners of the feet, and then doing the other side. So bending the knee, this time right leg comes across, left leg standing, bending the knee, squeezing the legs together, big huge spread of your arms, taking your left arm on top, finding your palm, or getting as close as you can, gazing at a steady point to help to still your body and your mind, and releasing the arms, straightening the leg, coming back to Tadasana, mountain pose. And so that can take lots of time and practice. Try to have patience with yourself, because getting frustrated and impatient with yourself won't make you feel more balanced. It'll just make you more frustrated. So that's Eagle pose, or sometimes called Garuda or Garudasana pose. Enjoy, happy practicing. Thank you. Namaste.